All right. Yo, so what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Beats by Lonze in the building today. Working on Ableton. I'm trying to get my Ableton set up. I'm currently working in Ableton 11 standard, and yeah, man, I'm just trying to figure out my workflow for Ableton and the Push 3. So, so forgive me if I'm not well versed in how my setup is going for Ableton and the Push because I'm kind of rusty in the Push, and I don't really know it as well as I know the MPC. So I'm trying to figure out my workflow. So today's live is gonna be just me fiddling around in Ableton and on the Push 3 to try to come up with making beats, making hip hop beats in Ableton with the Push 3. So um, shout out to a man Khalif. What's up? What's up? Appreciate you thinking about this idea. I didn't come up with it myself, so I got to give props to the man who thought of it himself. And we're just gonna go through this thing and get it popping. So without further ado, we're gonna do this thing. All right. So what I'll do is I'll just get a little drum pattern going just so that what's up, Teddy Rock? That's my man. Detroit, Detroit. You always coming through, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for stopping through. Yeah, there ain't much going on right now. I'm working the Push 3 and Ableton. I'm going to try to get a little groove going so that I can kind of get like a skeleton put together. And then I'll come in and figure out if I'm going to bring in a sample, if I'm going to chop it, what I'm going to do from there. But for right now, I'm just trying to figure it out. So you won't hear me talking too much. You won't hear me talking too much. I just try to work through the process, and so it'll be a little quietness and some music going. Yeah, yeah. First time catching me live. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Um, hopefully you'll teach me something instead of me teaching you something. So yeah, teach you how to chop a sample and the push. All right, cool. Let me get a little beat going first, and then we'll chop. We'll figure out how to chop. So first, I am going to tap my tempo. All right, so we got 91. So let's see. We're gonna do 8 bars. We'll have a two bar intro. All right. So what we're going to do is duplicate it, and we're gonna duplicate it again. All right. So let's see what we got. So, and this is a common problem that I find. If I don't stop it right on the loop, then there'll always be a space, and then I have to go back in and fix the loop and then reduplicate it again. So, um, I'm going to have to go back and delete all of that shit. And I'm going to go to the end. Let's see what we got. So, dun, 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 dun. All right, so I can't see, so I think that got to come out and delete. So put that on the loop. All right, so let's see if I can duplicate that one and see if that comes back around. Yep, so that ain't right. Dun, dun, dun. And where's my undo? I'm making break beats tonight after I'm done watching. I'll post up. Hey, do that, man. Yeah, just trying to get some practice in here to figure out this freaking workflow, because it is very difficult when you don't know Ableton like you know everything else. So then it's kind of like you got to figure out where everything goes and how everything. So I'm just going to start it over. So yeah, still the same fucking thing. Delete. It is still off. Let me see if maybe if I can quantize it maybe. See if that will fix it with the timing. Nope. Now, so what I want to do is loop it. That's weird that it has a freaking what's his name in there. Let's take the drop out for now. Delete. Let's see if that works. Gotcha. All right. So the problem I was just having right now, the problem I was having right now is that um, at the end of that little 4 bar loop, there's some space. So every time I try to duplicate it and make it duplicate that 4 bar again because it was space, I couldn't figure out where after the 4 bars that I had the space, even looking at it with it spaced out. So what I had to do was take that 4 bar and draw it out, and it fixed the space, and then it just came back and redid the drum loop that I put it on. So now with that same kit, because I don't want to record over what I just did. I just got it that same kit on another track line. So I'm gonna come back in. Let's see what we got. I'm gonna come back in and record on the second track line. Alright, so I'm gonna go back here. Alright, so now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do the same thing. Now let's see if I can duplicate that one and see if it plays on time. So now I'm just going to duplicate that all the way across. And what I'll do is I'll come back toward the end and I'll take some of those out when we get toward the hook. Now, what some people find, no, I can't solve a Rubik's Cube. Very hard. I've never been able to solve a Rubik's Cube in my life, which I've always wanted to, but yeah. Freaking only use the MPC software for ripping stems. Man, the MPC software, me and Khalif have been having a conversation about the MPC software. The MPC software is a really good software if you learn to use it the way that it's and use it in its capabilities. And what I've been seeing a lot of people doing is they take Ableton, then they run MPC software as a VST, or they take whatever the DAW of their choice is, Logic or Cubase or whatever, and they run MPC as a VST. And I won't go into a whole my issue with people using MVC software as a VST because there's nothing wrong with it. That's what it's for. But I think that you run into more problems when you don't use the software as it's designed to be used by itself in its entirety, because you can do everything in the MPC software that you can do in all the other DAWs. So um, yeah, I won't get into that. That's a whole nother rabbit hole. But for now, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna attempt to show you how to chop a sample in the freaking. I'm gonna show you how to chop the sample in the push three. It's actually pretty easy. So typically, you take your turntable or your other sampler that you have that you want to bring the sound from to bring it into the push three, and you take it into your input and you sample it. But in this case, I'm not going to use a sample from another outboard source. I'm going to take a sample that I already got in my computer on my hard drive, and then I'm going to sample it from there. So I'm going to take this track that I got that says that it's a hook. I'm going to use that track instead. All right, so I'm going to go to my splice packs and I'm going to find a sample. Now, the thing that I find that's very cool about about Ableton is that you can drag and drop. So as soon as you find a sample, you can drag it and drop it into Ableton. The warp function is so dope, and it's easy. I'll show you. And I'm gonna cheat a little bit because this BPM of this track is 91.22. So I'm gonna find a BPM that's similar to the BPM that I already got. It's a sample, and then I'm just going to uh, find the sample and bring it in. And I've used a lot of those samples, so I'm not gonna use those because I know those samples so well. So I'm gonna not recreate the wheel. I'm gonna do something different. So I'm gonna find a sample, Hollywood Soul. Let's see what's in here. All right. So what's so crazy about this freaking push three, right? So I'm gonna take this sample, right? It's already, as soon as you drag it in, you can see the sample down at the bottom. And watch this. When I play this sample, it's gonna automatically match the tempo of what's already in my Ableton already. it's kind of like a cheat code. What's up, Dusty? Appreciate you being here on the live. Again, I'm just playing around with the push three, just trying to get some exercise in the push three because I've had the push three probably about 6 months to almost maybe 8 months to a year, and I don't play with it much. So I'm just here just trying to figure out how to get this thing going. Well, I want to show y'all just in case you hadn't seen on the push three because I'm always on MPC how easy it is to bring samples into the Ableton software and chop on the push three. Now, as you can probably see, or you maybe can't see, whenever I pulled that sample into Ableton, it brought the sample across the screen in this on the push three. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate this track, and in this track alone, I am going to slice it to new MIDI. And now I've chopped it into 16. I chopped it into the pads, and so whenever I get ready to do my hook, then what I'll do is I'll come in and I'll chop that for my hook. So we got intro. that on a loop somewhere, which I don't know. All right, so we got. All right, so what I'll do is I'll just record another. And so what I'll do is from there. So from there, I'll just bring the freaking the original sample back for the verse. So duplicate. So duplicate, and we'll bring that over. What's up, Wugga? What's going on, my man? Beats by Wugga in the building. What's going on out of Ireland? I know you telling me telling where you from that you out of Ireland, but that's my dude. That's my dude right there. So appreciate you being in the building. Yeah, I'm just over here just trying to work in Ableton, try to get my fingers back to working. So yeah, I just took that sample flip and just showing you how easy it is to chop in the push three and Ableton. Now, when Ableton is able to make the push three standalone completely to where I don't have to use the computer, then MPC may have a problem on their hands. But for right now, um, you have to use the push three with the software of Ableton. You are able to use it without a battery and use it standalone. This is not an ad for Ableton and Push 3, but you're able to use it as a standalone device that has a battery. It has a hard drive in it already. You have ins and outs. You have USB slot. Um, you can transfer your files from the computer to the Push 3 via the internet, via the Wi-Fi connection. So you can go back and forth. You can send your projects from the push to the computer, and then back from the computer back to the push. So that's pretty cool about it. But really, what I just wanted to show and showcase was that just like the MPC, you have the chop function as well, and the algorithm that's in the Ableton software and the Push 3 is next level. So let me show you the chops that I just I just put 16 chops. I didn't tell it no particular order, and it just automatically did it. So check the chops. So yeah, just simple as that, man. Just whatever you can come up with, whatever you can maneuver and fill out, the chops is there. So what I typically do, because there's some space in the chop, I'd go in and I find some remnants that I can place in the spaces and kind of fill out the sample a little bit, so you can't really um, know that it's just a sample chop with some space in it. So I like to do that sometimes. Um, so right now, what I'm gonna do is try to find a some type of you know what I'm gonna do? I know exactly what I'm gonna do. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna insert a MIDI track. I'm gonna pull in a VST, which is going to be um let's do arcade. Let's do arcade because arcade is always clutch. So yeah, so watch this. So I'm gonna go to arcade. I'm gonna find anything. Let's see. Let's go winter sign. I don't know what's in this output um, VST, but it's supposed to be radiant ostinato patterns pulsed within transcendent choral drones, lined with peaceful melodies, whatever that is. So we're gonna see what sounds. All right, so if I did that right, which I did, okay. So just like oh yeah. Arcade got, bruh. If you're ever stuck and you just need to just add something, Arcade got everything in it, bro. You can't lose with Arcade. So what I did was I was just messing around because Arcade got so many freaking samples that you can just never go wrong with it. So I played the samples out in no particular order because I never heard them. And so what I did is, just like in the MPC, it has the retroactive record where you play it and then you can come back in and add it after the fact. Push 3 has the same thing to where you can retroactively add what you just played. And so now if you listen, what I just played will be recorded into my track. thing I didn't do. Another thing I didn't do was count my bars to see if it's actually 16 bars or because this is a template that I already put out that should have been already placed in a rapping format of verse, intro, verse hook, verse hook with no bridge. Um, and so when I was listening to it just now, I was like, man, the hook should have came in already. But without making the video too long, and I'll probably fix this on the flip side, is yeah, I'll probably fix it on the flip side. Just come back and arrange it and put the song in order as it should be. But technically, the way this template was set up was that it should have already been in place, but whatever. So, just a quick, not really a tutorial, just a really kind of like, again, exercising to see, you know, put some work in with Ableton and the Push 3. But so far, that's what I got. I got the drum kit. I got a sample in there. Then I got arcade came in with the. And the thing I love about arcade and the push is that however many buttons you got here on the layout is how many samples you're able to play with. I know that down here at the bottom there's nothing. And it starts here, and that's probably where the C starts. I'm not sure. So they're all over the place based on the push layout, but so really when I was just showing y'all the arcade, I'm just pressing buttons just to, whatever came up came up. So let's see what we got. Let me count this bad boy. So right there was my 16 bars. So I got this thing like doubled up, tripled up. Oh man, so let's go ahead and put a marker in there. So Yeah, the instrument been out a little while, but yeah, the instrument looks really good. But the only difference that I saw between the instrument and the Push Three is that the instrument is a piano instrument. To my knowledge, is a piano instrument, and the Push is not just a. It's a piano instrument. It's a sampler. It's um it's everything. It's everything built in one. The only difference is you can't export in the song mode just yet. You're only able to build the ideas up and then transfer it over to Ableton. But that instrument is a good instrument to have in your arsenal when you're, when you need to play other sounds and you need to add other instrumentation to your push or to your MPC or your force. So yeah, that is a great instrument to have in your arsenal, and the price wasn't bad either. I went and checked them out. They're like $1,000 for the um the regular small version, and then it was like maybe like 1,500 to like 2,000 or 1,800 or something like that for the large model. So, and the same thing with the push is that you're able to pull in. It's based off the same concept. You're able to pull in an instrument such as like a piano. Let's see if I can let me save this real quick. Save live set as. Since we're talking about Linstrument, I'm gonna name this the Linstrument 24 on Ableton. Save. All right. So let me show y'all one other thing, just in case you hadn't seen it. Um, the thing with the Linstrument and the Push Three, which they piggybacked off of, and I wouldn't be surprised if freaking Roger Lynn had a hand in creating some of these MPE, because it has MPE technology in it. I wouldn't be surprised if he was one of the inventors of this MPE technology. So what it has is the ability to take any instrument. Let's see if we can find one. Let's find an instrument, and we're gonna do. Let's do piano. So pretty much the instrument, what it does, what's going on. You know what? I don't know. I don't know if you can pull samples in it as well. If you can pull samples into it, then you got, like you said, the Push Three does have um some competition in its grasp, but right now, right now the NPC is holding the line. Right now, the Push Three is behind it a little bit, but um yeah, the NPC is all in one freaking um machine. So I'm always go back to the NPC no matter what. And on this side, you can see, y'all probably can't see my studio. I started out with Native Instruments, so um, I got the Machine Studio and the Mark MK3 over there. I got a Machine Plus as well on the other side. I got MPC One on that side, and I got the MPC Key over here on that end. And all the way over there in the back, which you probably can't see, is I have MPC controllers. So, I'm all in for MPC. But yeah, the crazy thing about the push three, back to the push, is that it is a piano controller, a guitar controller. It is a whatever instrument that you can find, that you can make, that you can sample. You can make it into an instrument just like MPC, and you're able to play it the same way the instrument is able to play. The instrument just has all the pads laid out the long way, and the push three, similar to the Force, has the 64 layout. So those are all. As I was talking to my man Khalif earlier, telling Khalif, man, like, listen, these people that have designed these controllers and these devices all have worked in the back end together, so they're creating um, duplicates of what they already know that works. And so, they originally came out. Where's my freaking jam? Native Instruments came out with the jam, and then they had to follow suit in what people was looking at as far as the jam. So then they had like the what is it called, the the square box. I can't think what they call right now, but the 64 pads, that were just controllers that you could just hook up, similar to the MPC, the APC 64. They came out with those kind of formats, the APC 40s. Um, so that was like some of the first ones that came up with, and then they just built off the platform to able to have, batteries and standalone and hard drives and all that, because they're their own computers. But as I was saying, like, the progression of those guys that built these machines, they just progressed and built up. And so now you have your option to pick and choose what you want to use. So the Force don't get a lot of the respect that the Force should get in this community. The Force don't get talked about a lot to be as an incredible machine that it is. The Force is an incredible machine. I love the Force. It is right there, it's top tier, along with the my NPCs and the Push and the S2400, which I have on the other end, which is a whole nother beast. But anyway, I there's a way to play, the chords, and a way to play this instrument as a piano. And I was watching a video the other night on how to play the chords, and I still hadn't figured it out. But there are three. Once you learn where all the chords are and where all the keys are, the notes, because they're in a particular order. Once you figure out where they are, you can actually play the chords using um the three notes or whatever. The 1 3 5, you can use that and play. And also there is an option. There's an option in here to where you can change the layout. But anyway, you can change the layout to press one button and play the chord, so you don't have to mess around with trying to figure out where the chord is at. And I don't know where that is right now. But anyway, um, the purpose of this video pretty much was to go live just to show you how I get in here and work out with Ableton and the Push 3 whenever I'm trying to get some workout on the Push 3, because I don't use it as much as you can tell from the video. And just trying to work out my workflow of trying to get fast like I am on the MPC. Like MPC, I can close my eyes and feel around and feel. I can kind of do that with my eyes closed. But thank y'all for coming to the live. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everybody that's pulled up. Anybody that's had any questions that I didn't answer, man, hit me in the DMs. I'm on all social media platforms at Beats by Alonze. You can find me there. I have music on Bandcamp. You can find me at Beats by Alonze on Bandcamp. You can find me everywhere on all social medias at Beats by Alonze. So I appreciate y'all. And so yeah. We're gonna go back to the beginning. But anyway, I just reversed that sample, and then I got to go back in and fix the hook because there's space and it's offbeat. Well, anyway, Beats by Lonze, appreciate y'all, and I'll catch y'all next time we go live. So, peace. Again, thank y'all. If I didn't say that already, thank y'all for joining. I appreciate it.